The COVID-19 pandemic affected everyone's health and well-being. For policymakers in the labor market, the pandemic also brought questions about protecting particular vulnerable groups. Who were the most vulnerable, exposed to poverty and job losses? What measures were adopted to protect these groups? How did social dialogue help in designing such measures? These were the questions studied in the DEFEN-CE project implemented by an international research team in 12 countries. ADAPT did research in Italy and Spain. We are now going to present you the key findings.
Who are vulnerable groups most affected by COVID-19? We have conducted 20 interviews with Italian and Spanish experts, including government representatives, public service entities, trade unions, employers' organizations, and NGOs, to identify who are the vulnerable groups most affected by the pandemic. According to our results, vulnerable groups in Italy and Spain consist of women, individuals with non-standard contracts, low-wage workers, the lower educated, migrants, people with disability, young individuals, and interns.
Which government measures were adopted to protect these vulnerable groups? The policies adopted by Italy and Spain in defense of vulnerable groups during the pandemic predominantly concentrated on three key domains: job retention or labor market schemes, health and safety measures, and social security provisions. What was the role of social dialogue? In Italy, during the pandemic, the dynamics between social partners and institutions primarily centered on information sharing and consultation. Notably, the government retained control over the political process, with the great exception represented by the Health and Safety Protocol, a tripartite agreement signed by the main Italian social partners, a significant departure from the country's usual trend of abandoning tripartism. The effectiveness of social dialogue during this period varied, depending on the maturity of existing structures. Social dialogue flourished where it was already mature, while where labor relations were not strong, there was no progress. On the other hand, at the same time period, Spain saw a remarkable boost in social dialogue. Social partners played a crucial and proactive role in shaping key measures to protect vulnerable groups. This approach enhanced their credibility and legitimacy. Additionally, it's worth noting that social dialogue in Spain progressed not only at national level, where 14 tripartite agreements were reached, but also at the regional level. There is agreement in recognizing the highest and most important point of tripartite social dialogue in the regulation of Spain's temporary job retention schemes, namely ERTES measures, temporary employment regulation procedures.